Hello friends! Today we're making this beautiful porch table for my mother. This is going to be a table that sits underneath her mailbox. It is specifically meant, in her case, for package delivery. So it can hold up to, well, at least 210 pounds because I've sat on it. Anyways, it's a real simple build. You can do it in a day. Let's jump right in. We're going to make this entire project out of pine. We're going to use 1x4s, which are nominally 3.5 inches wide. Just going by the aesthetics of how big I pretty much want this to be, I'm going to set these boards next to each other with a 1/2 inch space in between, so 4 inches. 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. So that last one doesn't have a 1/2 inch spacer. So it's going to be 19.5 by 19.5 inches square. So we're going to cut from 2 boards. We're going to cut 10 total 19.5 inch pieces. So let's start with that. Oh, top and bottom shelf, in case you're wondering why. With this 8-foot 2x2, I'm going to cut 4 equal sections. I want to make it 2 feet tall, the table, exactly. So I'll cut 4 sections at 23 1/4 inch because the top is going to lay like that on top, and this is 3/4 inch. I want a gentle reveal, a little bit of a lip over the top of this. So imagine this whole thing is upside down. And I'm just using these scrap cutoffs. They're 3/4 inch. So the legs will be 3/4 inch offset from the end. Now I need to make some pieces that are going to join the legs to each other. So we just measure the distance between these two. And that is 15 inches, more or less. 15 inches is what we're going with. We're going to cut 4 pieces. Is that right? No, we're going to cut 2 pieces. 1, 2, and then we're going to cut them in half on the table saw. Lovely. Welcome to the wild world of design. So here are the pieces we just cut. 2 more are going to go like this. Again, we're working upside down. I marked 6 inches from the bottom. I've got this one oriented towards you so you can see where it is. And the beams are going to go like that across. And then underneath them, we'll have the bottom shelf. And I've decided that I don't want the bottom shelf to have any kind of an overhang. So I'm going to recut these 5 to the distance from the outside to the outside of the supports, which is 17 1/8 inch. I just measured it again. I've got it written down here. And then with this last one, not only do I have to cut it to 17 1/8, but I also have to chop off some of the sides. And I've got to do a little bit of cutting on the scroll saw on the inside. Let me show you. So we'll be cutting the outside here all the way along, right? This will be a nice straight line extended here. But I'm also going to cut off this section and this. So I'm going to use these pieces for the bottom, but I'm marking them here. It'll make sense in a second when we assemble it. So this section will butt right up to the leg, and it'll look just lovely. We'll be screwing in from the top. So if I remove the leg and the support, right, effectively we're going to be lobbing off that and this, and this. I have all 5 of my pieces lined up right here to where the top needs to be from the marks we just made. This can be a questionable cut for a lot of people. I know my tools and my safety procedures. Do what you need to do. I'm mucking this upside down just to give you a feel for how it's going to look, so don't mind me. But this is how it's going to be, except all these boards will be on the underside. There we go, and that's how these boards fit in. Nice and flush on the outside, flush right here, as you can see. I use my scroll saw disproportionately more than most guys on YouTube, but it is my oldest saw in my shop. I've had it for pushing 25 years now, and it is the tool that got me into woodworking. So I love it and I use it a lot. Here we are now doing the dry assembly of the legs. I'm just putting in 3-inch screws, not fully setting them. I'll do that after they're painted. Again, just a dry assembly. And if you can see some of the blue painter's tape that I have underneath here, I've got them all labeled, and that will tell me where each of these pieces should go after they're all said and done being painted. The dry assembly is really tedious, and admittedly, I hate it. But it makes for a nice, seamless final product. Now I could be using much fancier joinery techniques. I mean, this could be a nice mortise and tenon, but this is an outdoor project, and again, it's made of pine, and it's about to be painted, and it's not going to be particularly load-bearing, so that would be unnecessary. This is my middle daughter, Louisa. She will often come in the workshop with me while I'm doing things. We've got our PPE on, of course, and she's far away from when I'm running anything really big. Like right now, I'm about to run the router, but I'm a big advocate for girls, and not just girls, but kids, you know, being in the shop and doing things with their parents, right? Hands-on learning. They like doing what you're doing. They're curious. You should feed their curiosity, right? Yes. Okay, let's get to it. Goggles on. All of the leg pieces, I'm just roughing up gently with some, 80 grit sandpaper. But the tops of the tables, I'm going to properly round over and then gently sand before we paint. And I still don't have a proper dust collection system here, so the air ventilation is going to be bad. Taking a board and approximately putting the legs underneath it, I can see that this runner here is about 1.5 inches from the edge. So I'm taking one of my tools that has that 1.5 inch thickness. I'm going to run a line on both ends here and then mark out some holes, batch out every single one of these in the drill press so that it's done before we get it painted. And of course, I should note that the bottom pieces, since they go right up to the edge of the supports, which are 3/4 of an inch long, I'm just going to run a line at 3/8 of an inch across here, and that will put me dead center for what I need to do. So just a wee bit of sanding now to knock down any little bit of grain that's raised from any of the holes we did. And then we are on to paint. One last nice wide shot. I painted all of mine, didn't get any footage of it. You know, once the build is done, you could stain it, you could leave it, you could paint it. You know, take your pick. Not the most exciting footage. 2 coats for me always. We'll let these dry overnight and then assemble. It's really a good thing that we've labeled these with my illegible writing, but now we know that the holes all line up and every piece is where it should be, because you can't see the, you know, the 6-inch marker or whatever that I have right down here. So since we line them up ahead of time, all we have to do is match up the letters, and then you get a perfect piece like so. So this part is completely unnecessary. It's a design element, but last year for my mother, I redid her mailbox, and her mailbox required a handle to lift. Anyways, I made for her a mailbox, and it needed a handle to lift the lid, and it was this pink, shiny, fancy jewel. And I found another one of them, so I'm putting it on the front. It is purely aesthetic. It has no function, but this is going to sit immediately underneath her mailbox. And so you'll see the pink gem on the mailbox, and you'll see this pink gem here, and it'll feel like, oh, they were made for each other, because truly they were. So have you ever watched any videos from Matthias Wandel? I think he's Canadian, woodworker. He does a strength test by sitting on things. So here we go. I weigh 210 pounds. So this will hold anything that is delivered to my mom's house. Always good to check out these things. The joy of making things yourself. So there you have it. I think this is beautiful, and it is functional. And it was such an easy project. It's you make it in a day, and if you choose to paint it, just let it sit overnight kind of situation. Real easy, real straightforward. Can be a scrap lumber project or a very affordable project if you buy the wood new. This will look lovely where it's going. I'm sure I'm showing you some pictures of it in its spot, and I love it. What are your thoughts on this? Have you made something similar for your porch, for package deliveries, or the like? Let me know in the comments below, and more importantly in the comments below, please wish my mother a happy birthday. Thanks a lot. Happy woodworking. Bye-bye.